morning, fellow microbiologists. I'm Carrie, filling in for Mr. Sandos, who's out with a severe case of fried rice syndrome. I'll be continuing his segment on when microbes attack. Here with me are correspondents Courtney and Noah, and we will be talking with special guest Jill later on.
There have been some incidents around campus of students finding odd microbes in odd places.
Watch, as in 4 segments, we get to the bottom of this.
Where's your backpack right now? Do you know where your backpack has been? Can you think of all the things that are growing on your backpack right now? Have you ever thought of these things? I did, and this is what I found. I took a sample from my backpack, the bottom of it to be exact. I took a Rodak plate to it, and I found an appealing colony, which I isolated. Turns out, it was a gram-positive rod. Because of this, I did an endospore test. That was positive too. It was catalase positive and oxidase positive. Narrowed it down a little bit. Had to have been from the Bacillus family. So I did a little more testing. I ran the PCR on it and DNA sequencing, and I got a solid match. The that was growing on the bottom of my backpack was Bacillus cereus. Do you have any idea what this does? It causes severe food poisoning. It's also known as the fried rice syndrome. So now let me ask you, would you ever lick the bottom of your backpack? I would.
Hi, this is Jill. I did my contact lens. I have been wearing contact lens since a long time, so I was wondering why I need to switch, get new one every 2 weeks. Probably there's some bacterial growth on my contact lens, so that's why I did trying to identify colonies from my contact lens. So first of all, I did a straight TBAB plate, so got some colonies from there, and then I did Granston. It turned out it's gram-positive because it's purple, and the size is about 1 microliter. Its arrangement is cluster. The shape is coxy. And then based on the chart, so I did my catalyst test, and there's bubbles here, so it's positive. So I got my family's Micrococcaceae. And then I suspend the colonies of water to try to do PCR too. But unfortunately, one run gel, there's no DNA band show, so it means there's no DNA. I'm trying to get some other ways to figure out my isolate. So I restrict the MSA plate, and it's turned out to be positive because the plates turn to be yellow, and it means it fermented the mannitol. So the best estimate I can get for my isolate is Staphylococcus aureus. Okay.
So I wanted to see what was in my throat. So I decided to do a throat culture. Now this throat culture was first done by swabbing and then putting on a TBAB plate. I let it incubate, and then I chose a colony that I thought looked nice. And after that, I decided to do some tests. My gram stain showed me that my organism was likely gram negative. Now, I'll talk about that later, but I think I was wrong. But anyways, my gram stain showed a cocci around 0.5 micrometers, and I moved on to my other tests, like the catalase test, which was positive, and the oxidase test, which was negative. After looking at all these things, I decided to do another streak plate just to keep my culture alive, and I accidentally an eosin methylene blue plate instead of a TBAB. So I found out I didn't have a gram-negative organism, I had a gram-positive organism. And so I was going to do some more tests, but someone threw out my stuff, so I couldn't. And my DNA sequencing was basically a bunch of T's. So using the information I had, I narrowed it down, and I found out that it probably had a staphylococcus. And based on these, it was probably a Staphylococcus epidermidis. So that's probably what it was. And Staphylococcus epidermidis is found all over the place. It's found in your skin, in your gastrointestinal tract, in your mouth, basically anywhere you have skin, anywhere. And it's also the #1 source of laboratory contamination. So you have that.
Do you guys want to hear a horror story? Lactobacillus. After wrestling at UMBC for the past 3 years, I decided it would be a good time to figure out what exactly I've been rolling around on. So I did a couple of tests. I took a Rodak plate and sampled 4 regions of these mats that I'm sitting on right now. And I found some really interesting colonies. They're rod-shaped and gram-positive, found in a chain-like arrangement. They are catalase and oxidase negative and don't produce endospores. Could only mean one thing: lactobacillus. What's lactobacillus? Where is it found? Things that I don't really want to get into. They're found in the gastrointestinal tract and the vagina. So ask yourself, do you want to wrestle for UMBC and roll around on that stuff?
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking and where you're walking, or you and your homies might be lined in chalk. I really hate the trip, but I gotta low. As they croak, I see myself in the pistol smoke. Fool, I'm the kind of G the little homies wanna be like, on my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light. Been staying most of the night.